Welcome back to the channel, guys. It is Herb from Gryphon's Den. I am actually going to be going through and I'm going to be doing a memory upgrade. We're going to be going to 4 terabytes on this One X player, the ONEXFLY F1 Pro. Now, I didn't see too many videos online about this, especially because with this device, they actually did an extremely good job of hiding all of the screws, so they are relatively hidden. And it is going to be a little bit of a mission to get through and do these, but I have a couple things here that I think would definitely help you guys. I have a magnetic board so I can keep track of my screws. You're only going to need a single screwdriver. You're either going to use a 0 or a 00 Phillips head. I have a actual separation tool, a little sponger right here. And then I have this one just in case, but either of these will work for you. I have noticed that you could probably use your fingernail if you have long enough fingernails. I do not. So I need tools. We have our M.2 drive that we're going to be putting in there. We're going to go to 4 terabyte. In a later video, I'm actually going to be dual booting Bazite off this, so I can show you guys some testing using Bazite and Windows, so we can kind of see how this thing really powers if we were running off SteamOS. And we have an M.2 cloner, or an NVMe cloner. This, I haven't had any issues with it. It's an offline cloner, so we'll just do a 1-to-1, and it'll have a separate partition for the space that wasn't already on there, which works perfectly because in a later video, I'm going to show you guys how we can allocate that and then dual boot. So go ahead and getting right into it. The number one thing we're going to need to do is turn off the device. So I'm just going to go in here, open this up, and we're going to turn this bad boy off. So shut down. All right. Now that that is completely off, we are going to actually start by removing these cap covers. So right along here, you can actually see there is a little bit of gap in between the two. We are going to take our tool and ever so slightly try and pry our way in. And you'll see how it separates a little bit. It is a little bit hard for me to grab on camera for you guys, but I want you guys to see. And then we're going to follow the line up, just popping it up ever so gently. Perfect. Now that that's up, give it a little wiggle, make sure everything's good. Perfect. We'll flip it over and we are going to follow that same line along the back. There we go. Now it's all done. Now, as soon as you do that, you will then see, it'll be a little hard to see on camera for you guys, but we have a hidden screw here. We have a hidden screw here. There's going to be, that's the theme of this build. It is quite literally hidden screws all over the place. Our plate looks nice. I'll make sure I give that a little clean right here. Make sure that stays nice. And then we're going to do the exact same thing on the opposite side. So once again, we're going to go in. Try and get this focused for you guys. And just a little pop and a twist. Nothing crazy, we're not trying to break it. Right at the corner. See, now it has lifted up. And then we are just going to work our way slowly around this device, popping up the rest of those. Come on, baby. Work with me. There we go. Come on. I know you want to give it. Come on. There we go. You do not want to break these clips, so try and be as delicate as you can. Obviously, clips are clips, but you don't want to have to go through and redo everything. And then because it actually looks like it's popping over here, I'm going to work along the back. So don't fight the device. Work with what it gives you. This is letting me know that the back is going to come easier than the front. So I'm just going to slowly work my way around the back now. And boom. Nice and easy. Pops right out. So now we have those two. And then once again, we've got hidden screws here and here. Now that we have the two sides off, and I can already see some of the dog hair that's gotten in there, fantastic. We are going to work on the top. Now, the top is not so fun because you are going to have to try and be delicate but firm. First thing we're going to do is we're going to remove our dedicated Xbox home button, and then we are going to gently pry across. The buttons are going to fall out, totally fine. And then we're going to pry on this opposite side up, same way. So we're going to slowly, this is where I would highly recommend one of these. A little angled bodywork tool. Slowly, you'll hear it pop. Slow, boop. And then once you get it angled up, you can just lift out. And you can actually see this has little angled pieces, so it will slide back in, but it is meant to go down and back. So we have that down. I'm going to use this magnetized board to keep track of everything when it comes to little pieces. So right here, this top tray, I'm going to put my right side button, work our way across. Let me actually show you guys this, because you can now start to see where all of our fun stuff is. We have one hidden screw right there. So this is where all the little hidden screws are that keep this device going. So now, holding it there, we're going to slowly work our way across. Slowly, slowly. Center, and we've gotten most of the other side. I'm going to go through with this little bad boy. Slowly take this up. Perfect. And you can see my volume rocker's trying to come out. Totally fine. Place that bad boy right in there. And then now we have this, our centerpiece, ready to come out. That right along the top. Grab my power button, put that up there, and then just like we did on the other side, we're going to go through. We're going to take out this side. Perfect. Now that we're a little bit closer, I want to show you guys. You have 3 hidden screws, one here, one here, and one here. Now there are 2 more hidden screws, and they're going to be located right here. You're going to have one that's halfway underneath your serial number, and another that's going to be right underneath of this factory seal. So doing this, you're basically saying, hey, it's mine. I'm not ashamed. Don't get mad at me. I'm taking things apart. So I'm going to go ahead and slide on you. And right here you can see this one. And then for this one, I'm just going to have to remove the sticker all the way. But now that we have all of those screws exposed, we're going to go ahead and get them taken out. And then what I like to do is on this magnetic board, so I can keep everything nice and organized, I'm going to put left side, right side, top, and bottom, so that all the same screws go back in the same spot. So you'll see me join back up when we're there, but let's go ahead and fast forward through that so we can get that all taken care of. So let's start right over here. all of those separated. Fantastic. We are now going to separate the back plate. So we're going to take our little buddy here and we're going to run our way along that groove to separate the two. And once that is done, we'll be ready to go. So let me just lay down a towel because I don't want to scratch up my screen. And yes, I have a pink towel. No, I do not care. Perfect. And grab us a little corner. Bottom, we will go ahead and secure the top separation. Just going to be right along this line right here. Just want to make sure we don't break nothing. Fantastic. There is nothing attached to the back of this, so there is no concern with that. That is actually one of the nicer parts about this entire process. That is done. It's just out of the way. Now, so the main things that we need to do is we don't need to unplug the fan, but we need to unscrew the fan, remove this wire, and we need to get the part that's underneath of it. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to slow move this. So same as before, we need to remove our 3 fan screws. Now, there is some thermal tape at the top here that you can see is kind of holding everything down. I recommend just slightly peeling it here, lifting up so you can remove the fan housing, plop it down here so the tape is still sticking up because you're going to want to put it back. So we're going to do that right now. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use this right here. I'm just going to get underneath. Perfect. Tape is up. Fan assembly can just come right off like that. Now, you are going to see a little bit of a clip. Let me zoom in for you guys. I'll actually move this up so you guys can see. The wire runs around here. We're just going to simply lift the pull tab, because it is a tab right here. You're going to lift, slide the wire out, and boom, the wire is out. Your battery is connected here by an actual major bracket. We don't need to, we're keeping everything completely separate. We're not going through and messing with any of the power. I've done quite a few mods where I don't remove the battery and I haven't had too much of an issue with it. Make sure you're simply static free. You have something you can ground yourself with, but so long as that is the case and you're not just going through poking around at the actual motherboard itself, you should be fine. We do need to remove this metal shroud right here. And in order to do that, we need to remove 1, 2, and 3 more screws. And those are the last screws we're going to need to remove to actually get to the NVMe drive itself. So, all right, guys, Editing Gryphon here. Made a little bit of an oopsie. So if you guys are doing this tutorial as a follow-by, just blow by blow, you're pausing and going. Here's where I'm going to tell you there are 5 screws. I'm going to discover this in about the next 45 seconds, but to avoid you guys making the same mistake I am, there are 5 screws. So wait just about another minute before you take this next step, see where those 5 screws are, and then you'll be good to go. Thanks, and my bad. I'll go ahead. Fan, top. And we got some more screws to remove. So we'll go ahead, we'll get those bad boys knocked out. I'm foolish. I forgot. We have one more screw right here. And it's actually something that actually holds the battery in place. So bear with me just a moment. Grab that one as well. Put that one by itself to the side, because we are going to put this battery tray piece with it. So come here, please. Thank you. Here, go right there. And then you come right out. Grab it by the standoffs. And you're just going to slide you on out. Cheeky little final screw. Okay, so I completely missed this. You have a screw here, 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 and here. So there was an additional screw that I missed. That is my fault, guys. So it is 5 screws to get rid of this back plate. This one does not need to come out because it's built in. The camera's of course not going to focus while I'm trying to do this. That's fine. This bottom left screw is going to be built in. It's going to be enclosed. So don't try and rip it up. Just unscrew it and you'll feel it pop. Now that we are here, you can see all the fun stuff that's inside. This is our Acer NVMe drive that was already in there. We're just going to go ahead, unscrew it. Boom. Put this to the side. Pop out our drive. And now on to the cloning part. Wavelink is super easy. All we are going to do is we're going to take our source drive, which is going to be this NVMe that we just pulled out. We are going to slide it right on in. Come on, baby. Don't fight me. In, no problem. And then we're going to get our target drive, which we are going to have be this 990 Evo Plus 4 terabyte drive. Love Samsung drives. Have not had a single issue. Oh, I hate saying that because I feel like I jinxed myself, but I realistically haven't had an issue with any of my Samsung drives. They've lasted quite a long time. So, big fan of Samsung drives, and I'm not expecting this to be the first one that I have issues with. Go ahead, install the little nib on the back. Once again, we will slide this in there. Drop it on down. So now both cards are in, they are secured. Notice we do have some heat tape on there. Not really too much of an issue, but go ahead and install these bad boys. Slide the tray on. And then there is a button on the back that we're going to basically do to clone it. And what we're going to do is we're going to hold this button from A to B. As it moves it over, these dots will actually fill up, and then once it is completely full, we know it's done. So we will go ahead and I will see you guys back when this finishes. All right, guys, now that that is all finished, and the actual cloning of the drive took quite a while. It took about almost 2 hours. I had about 2 full terabytes on my source NVMe drive. So moving over to the target, it did take a little bit of time. But now all we're going to do is we're just going to go in reverse order. So I'm going to take the little heatsink sticker that was on the original NVMe. I'm going to put it on this new one. You can see it right there. What I'm then going to do is I'm going to reinstall everything in reverse order. So NVMe screw is going to go back in. Get that screwed in. Fantastic. Now we're going to take our metal shielding and we are going to reinstall it. So it's going to be at a slight little angle, just to kind of slide it in underneath that actual fan exhaust housing. Screw in the bottom left. Make sure everything's down. And then with these tiny little screws, having a magnetic head is a massive benefit. So this actual kit for this tool comes with these body separators. I will put that linked in the description, as well as the iFixit magnetic tray and the drive cloner and the drive itself, so you guys know exactly what I'm using and you can replicate this setup. But aside from that, we are just going through and reinstalling everything. So what I will do is I will speed this up a little bit. That way we can get to the point where I want to make sure there's a little key thing we need to talk about, which is rerouting. Rerouting the fan wire through the little hook and then buttoning everything back up. Now, this is a little lift clip. Just like getting it out, you're going to do a little bit of a lift, slide it in, and then you're going to line everything up. Once you've lined everything up, make sure that the fan wire isn't sticking out below the case. You see me kind of running my finger along to make sure it goes there. I don't want it to be exposed or crushed when I'm reattaching the top or the back plate. So just a gentle little pull on the top of that wire to pull the wires a little bit more taut and pull them a little bit more flush. Then we're going to reapply that little tape, make sure there's no gaps, and then push it on down. Then go ahead and put in your fan screws, and we are going to move along to buttoning up this case. So now that we have that, let's grab our case, make sure it's flipped the right direction, and this will just fall right into place. Now, you will have to give it a little bit of a squeeze so you can make sure everything's going to line up nice and properly. And you'll see me working my way around the edge for this, because I don't really want it to just forced, because we do have clips. So we're going to slowly work our way around. Good. And then now it is going to be time to put our screws back in. Now, I do like to do them in a relative same order. So I will go bottom, and then I'll go side, and then I'll go top. Then we're going to do that little touch up that I was talking about. Just wipe off any extra finger smudges from you putting your hands all over it. Keep that LED nice and clean. Then we're going to do the sides, and we will move on to reinstalling those little side panels after that. Now, when it comes to putting on these side panels, you are going to need to manhandle it a little bit, but not too much. The goal is to just help massage it back into the clip spot. So you'll see me kind of put it down, give it a little bit of force, but it's just going to pop right into place. So there's no real reason to force it. The bottom one that you are going to have to massage a little bit, the initial one you popped, because it's going to have the tension of everything else. And then once you give it a little downward pressure and kind of rub it into place, everything will pop and will be nice and smooth, as if you'd never taken it off. Do the exact same thing on the opposite side. We're just going to massage it down. So a little down and in. Boom. Fantastic. Now it is top time. Okay, so for the top, we are going to put in our 2 additional mouse buttons first. Because they have a little clip on the end that we had to pull up and out when we were actually doing the install of the long centerpiece, we're going to put them in first, and then we're going to pop the long piece over top. So go ahead and get them in, test them, make sure they actuate. You will be able to drop them right in because your lift up that you had to do is no longer there because that centerpiece is gone. Now we have to do the fun part where we have to put the buttons inside of the tray and then kind of make sure they line them up. And then what I wound up doing, because it just turned into too much of a hassle, I would just put the button on top and then I would put the frame over top. So you'll see me do it here. It's just there. I know it needs to move. We just move it over a little bit while we're putting it down. And then it is just a press. And you can see I even hit the power button, so I know that works. And then we're just pressing, we're moving along. It's a little bit of a hard angle to see, so don't be afraid to look at both sides. And then you can see it's already loaded back up, my same windows. I'm checking to make sure everything's flush, checking to make sure my buttons are working. And then now you guys can see it is fully reassembled. And that's it, you guys are done. You will now have your extra 2 terabytes if you went from 2 to 4, 3 if you went from 1 to 4. Buttons are working, fantastic. We're just doing a little check right here. Go ahead and put this code in. Now what we need to do is we need to go in and make sure our disk is readable. Sometimes when you create the clone drive, it won't automatically make a partition for the second half of the storage. It'll be unallocated. So what we're going to do is we're going to long press on the Windows icon. Then you're going to go to disk management. When you're in disk management, you'll be able to see your hard drive. And then if it hasn't been allocated and it hasn't already made it a drive, it'll be blacked out. So you'll have a little black bar over where you see me have the 2 terabyte. So I'll go ahead and I'm going to pull this a little closer. So we'll go ahead and take a look right here. You guys can see that I have my 4 terabyte drive being read. It says that we have our initial, which was cloned over, and then we have this other that is a separate drive, and it actually was reading D. And then that D drive is that 2 terabytes that we just added. And that's it. Now, in the next video you guys are going to see from us, we're going to be booting Bazite on this bad boy. We're going to be doing a dual boot between Windows and Bazite so we can test out the SteamOS. That being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, found this tutorial useful. If it was, go ahead and leave a like and subscribe if necessary so you can stay tuned when we do our Bazite video. Otherwise, let me know if you guys have any questions down in the comments below. Otherwise, thanks, and I'll see you in the next one.